we ever fight, who would win? That's the answer.
Me, so
Yeah, you go to the gym. Yeah. Is this recording?
yeah.
Welcome back.
Well, we were going to look at the latest issue of Frameline, but I forgot to bring it with me, so we'll do that next time.
Yeah. Gutted because it's brand new and I really wanted to see it. That's the only reason I invited Luke around my house today. Another one of our short videos where we're not going to be talking about the new Frameline magazines, but we did put some questions out on Instagram and we'll answer some of them. Dream location to shoot.
Well, I think I could talk for ages about that, but I think anywhere that isn't Northampton or little town in England, because they all look the same, or in the middle of England anyway. But like when I went to Wales in the summer,
Yep.
Brilliant, loved it. There was loads of like really nice coloured buildings, got some slide film there, took loads of photos, took far too many photos to be honest. And
Brighton, we went to Brighton. They don't know where we want to know about dream location.
dream location Brighton.
Wales. Been there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
You'd like to go back there.
anywhere it isn't Northampton mainly. Not that I don't love Northampton.
So I feel like getting a bit deeper with the question itself, I feel like there's a few kind of projects that I would like to do that local and dream locations, you know what I mean? So I've always wanted to drive through the States somehow. And like more recently, I've been thinking about Texas because I feel like there's been a lot of things that I've been watching that are just related to Texas and it makes me want to go there. So that would probably be a dream location of mine. But there's like projects that I want to kind of do myself here. So like you said about little villages and towns, I wouldn't mind documenting them somehow on medium format with my Mamiya RB67.
This is a good point, right? So I think if you've got an area that you're used to shooting in and you're a bit bored of it, to stop looking at it as I'm going to go out and take a photo, just taking photos of the same things every time. Treat it as like a document that you're doing or a project.
Yeah, project.
And something that you go, right, I'm actually going to capture taking a photo of this house or this field or, you know, that's what was around where I live, and taking this photo 100 times, but right, let's get a definitive, come out when the sun's, let's come out at sunrise, let's get the definitive picture of this on medium format or whatever it might be, or trying a different focal length or something. So I know we're deviating from the question, but it's an interesting topic, isn't it? So
yeah, well, Joe, I actually listened really randomly. I listened to one of our own podcast episodes the other day, the Brian Bergs episode, and he was saying how he plans a photo and how he might have to go back a certain day when the weather's right, but he didn't know that when he initially went there. But it makes me think. So that there's basically a project that I want to do where I just want to document some of the towns that I will travel to with my missus in our camper van. So my dream location, I don't actually know yet because we don't know that destination, but I want to maybe document for a whole year all the places that we managed to get in the camper van, and that will be its own project. So two reasons I quite like the idea of that, regardless of what film stock I use or what camera I even use, whether it be digital or film, it makes me excited to do something like that. And it also makes me put the camera down when I'm at home, rather than feeling like I've got to carry a camera around every minute of every day with me. I'm now thinking about that project, and I might have two or three other projects going on at the same time. I know we're deviating from the question, but that's something I would like to try and do this year in 2023. I want to document my travels in the camper van around the UK and wherever I might go, and maybe make a zine at the end of it, or print some of my favourite photos from my travels, and see what I get from it.
I think that something that I've found a lot of inspiration from is that. Did you watch it, Banshees of Inisherin?
No.
Okay, so there's a film called Banshees of Inisherin.
It's one of your...
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but it's not really a Disney.
I thought it was going to be one of your like Swedish house films that I've...
No, but it's quite... Right, so I think a lot of people will have seen it, but what really struck me in it was a lot of the shots, even didn't matter like where it was taken, they were taken on clearly like a very wide lens. So even if you've got somebody like filling the frame, their face, there's still loads of stuff going on in the peripheral of the image. It's not like really closely cropped on them. So in my love-hate thing with wide angle, where I don't really like shooting it, but I'm trying to shoot it, but I'm trying to shoot it more. Open your mouth at me. I'm trying to shoot it more. That's a really cool way of understanding how to use wide angle to a better effect. Okay, so how does this relate to the question that we've been asked? A dream location, maybe it's more like I'm trying to think of, well, what's a good subject? Forgetting location, because that can be quite limiting. Subject-wise, that's perhaps more important. However, when I went traveling with my missus like 10 years ago or whatever it was, we spent quite a lot of time in bits of like Eastern Europe, and I'd really like to go back there.
Yeah.
So like Lithuania, Latvia, parts of Poland, Romania, places like that, because they're just so like they're a bit of a world away from what things look like here.
So now you've been to those places,
Yeah,
reflecting back on if you could have took a camera in your head, in your kind of like dream photos that you're looking at now,
yeah.
are they street photography photos, are they landscape photos, are they black and white colour?
It probably colour, and it's probably street photography mostly.
Yeah.
But it's just that sort of thing that if you lived there, you'd probably be quite bored of like, look at all this derelict buildings or this or that or whatever it might be. But to me, it's new and it's fresh and it looks different, and it's like what we were talking about on a different video that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Textures on walls, I'm really bored of them. I hate brickwork because it's everywhere here, whereas what I remember about parts of those countries were a lot of the sides of the buildings were just plastered and one colour, but sometimes like pinks and blues and quite interesting. So that would be somewhere I'd really like to go back to with a camera. And
do you feel like, I'm just thinking, I'm now the conversation's developed, right? So I'm just thinking of questions to ask based on what you're saying.
go on then.
But with that in mind, would that be something you'd actually plan and go and do now?
Yeah, wasn't that anything? Well, dream location. Well, dream location, the move.
But it makes me think how you said then, like anywhere but Northampton, anywhere but where we live, right? But then there's parts of me that think like the project that I want to do with kind of like surrounding villages. I've always wanted to take some photos of the surrounding villages because I tend to go for a drive somewhere random and go for a little dog walk, yeah. But then I don't know about that place. Sometimes I only know the name of it because I happen just to drive there. But then I think of people like Matt Day, and he photographs where he lives, Chillicothe or whatever it is. But he knows his town, right? And he's looking for unique ways of shooting it. But the places that I'm going to be going to, I don't know. So I'm shooting them from a touristy perspective.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's... If you compared two photographers, one that lived in the location, one that didn't, would they be shot very differently? Yeah, I think they would.
Yeah.
There's no real point to that. I was just thinking then it'd be cool to go and take some photos, but then do you have to research where you are to be able to take a good photo? I don't think so.
Well, I was watching a Samuel Street Life video the other day where he was walking around Hamburg, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so bored of this place because I grew up here and then things really dull and it's just people waiting for people outside shops and that." And I was looking, and he says in the video, you probably all think I'm stupid, but I was watching it thinking, I mean, there's a photo, there's a photo. There's a street sign and there's somebody stood underneath it. There was a blue and red street sign and there was a couple underneath it in a blue and red coat. And I'm like, take that. But he was, you know, and that kind of thing. But you like when you're so, get quite jaded about your immediate surroundings, almost anywhere beyond that is going to be interesting to you. And what it makes me think of is Sean Tucker says about being a good photographer. He's not like saying, look, I'm a portrait photographer, I'm this or I'm that. It's being able to be dropped anywhere with a camera and being able to take a good image. You know, he did some photos in, I can't remember where it was, in Africa, of these people, and he thinks that they're great photos, but also he's very aware of they're great photos because the subject, that person, is really interesting. So it's about being able to be dropped in any location and take one really great photo. It's an important thing to bear in mind when you're getting a bit bored of where you live and taking photos around there. But on the flip side of that, you've probably taken that one great photo that's like 5 minutes walk from your house. You can't just keep doing that all the time. There are certain people who do, who maybe live in like the Yorkshire Moors. I'm sure there's people who just go out and shoot that all the time, and they've probably got a whole body of work.
I guess you've got to get excited about the unknown. Do you know what I mean? Because we can think about the dream location to go, and you can almost think about, in your head, you can almost see the photo that you want to take of the perfect scene in front of you, whatever that scene might be, whether it be a portrait, landscape, street photography. But sometimes not knowing what you're going to shoot makes you think.
That's when it gets exciting.
That's when it gets exciting, yeah.
So I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
I go out a lot. I try and, as often as possible. If I go out for a walk in the day, I get my camera and I just take it with me.
You're saying that I just sit on the sofa all day?
Yes. So my question to you is, why don't you get off your ass? So I get up and I grab my camera and I just go out, and I used to do it with film a lot more, but just grab my digital camera and I go out and take some photos of what I have taken a million times. And I will get a photo that I think, oh, that's a really nice photo of like the canal or a tree. But then I think, yeah, but I've taken that photo before. I know all the bends on the canal where the light comes around nicely, and I know I can go there and take a good photo. So I will. I think you do the same thing, maybe.
I don't do it anymore.
Right.
Well, maybe I do. So I'll always make a conscious effort to carry my camera.
Okay. But those photos that you've maybe taken 2 or 3 or 100 times, what do you do with them?
Honestly,
yeah,
I file them down, put them on a hard drive, and put them in. Like I always think it's like a memory to me. Now, what I'm trying to do at the moment, I don't know whether this is right or wrong, or whether I'll continue to do this.
Yeah,
it does relate to like social media and the way I use Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, in recent times, my profession has changed. I'm now a freelance photographer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so recently, my kind of time and dedication, aside from working on front, it's been full steam towards that. So I haven't spent as much of the time that I've had on doing casual photography, because I've been thinking about building portfolios and getting working, right?
Right.
But if I just went out and took some photos and I happen to like them, I've stopped just posting for the sake of posting now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, if for example, if I took 36 photos on a roll of film, or I went out and I took 15 digital photos on a walk just because I wanted to go out and take some photos, I always try and think of it now as like a learning thing. So I want to learn how to take certain photos or progress my photographic ability with the camera. I'm less excited now to get more cameras, more lenses, more film stocks than I used to be. I wanted to try all the different cameras out, try all the different film stocks out, and I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm okay with, like, I know what I do like, so I'm going to stick with that for a while. I'm going to post less because I'm being more choosy with the photos I take. Where up to this point, it's kind of been like, well, I just want to take as many photos. I want to look back at them all and think, okay, I like that one, I don't like that one, I don't. But now I'm like, I feel like I'm at the point where I can be a little bit more choosy with my photography that I like.
Mm-hmm.
No one else has to like it, but if I like it, then that's what I'll share or put in my portfolio, whatever it might be. So I try and think about the long-term kind of game. But to answer your question, I will still keep the photos that I take 100 times.
JPEG and RAW?
At the minute, I shoot JPEG and RAW, but I just edit a RAW if I want to, maybe straighten it, crop it, whatever it might be, and then I'll just save it. And then sometimes I'll get bored in the evening and I'll look through a hard drive and I'll randomly click on 2019 for argument's sake. I'll click on March and I'll go through it. That's how organised I am.
Okay.
But that's took me a long time to get to that point.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm just happy looking through this photo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then I get more excited because I'm sure you'd agree that when you look through photos that are new, you're more excited by them. But if you forgot about them or didn't look at them for maybe a month or 6 months and you go back to them, your opinion's changed. You're not as excited about those ones that are just like, okay, but the ones that you do get excited about, I personally believe are probably a better photo because I'm still excited about them 6 months later, 2 years later, however.
Yeah, I think that I'm trying to. I've just got so many photos, JPEGs and RAWs, where I think, oh, I'll go through all of these at some point, and I'll delete the ones I don't like, and then I'll go and pick up my camera to go out for the day, and go, oh, shit, my SD card is full. I haven't got time to go through them now, so dump the whole thing onto a hard drive, delete them off the card, whack it back in my camera, and go out. And then I just never look at them again. So I've got photos where where the shutter's gone off in my pocket, and I've got like, a few of them, and I've got pictures that I've been like, I took the same photo loads of times, and I've got the JPEG and the RAW of it. So
do you do that with all the intention of looking through those?
I think I'll go back one day and edit all those pictures, or go through them and I'll keep the ones that I like and get rid of the ones that I don't like. But I won't. We're like,
so my process at the moment, which is bad, which is why I'm trying to use my hard drive so much more, is I will do exactly the same as you. I'll dump a folder and I'll try and quickly go through them. So for example, if I've gone out today and shot some photos, I go out tomorrow and shoot photos. If it's the same kind of location, it's just going to get dumped into one folder. But let's say today I'm taking photos around Northampton doing street photography, and then tomorrow I am doing some portrait shoots and I haven't wiped the memory card because it's still just a casual shoot. I will still put them into 2 different folders with the intention of going through and edit them. But I try and find time to do that. And even if I only get 1 photo, or I don't get any photos, or maybe I'll get 20, then that's how many I've got.
Yeah.
But it's different with film though, because film you have to make the time. Again, I like to scan my own photos and develop if I can. So it's finding the time to do that. But I enjoy the process of scanning them in. But once they're scanned in, I tend to go and edit them straight away, whether it just be a crop or straighten or whatever it might be. But then I just sit on them because I file them away onto my hard drive. And this is an interesting question for you. I've stopped using my phone to carry photos now. So at least once a week, sometimes even 2 or 3 times a week, I pretty much empty the photos on my phone. So on my phone, I think I've only got 20 photos, and they're all something to do with front and what we post regularly. So I can't just randomly look through my phone and go, right, I'll post that, because I forget where it is on the hard drive and I forget the importance of it and why am I just posting photos for the sake of it? So now I'm using my archives to study my own work to try and get better. Do you know what I mean? But that might change. I no doubt we'll get to summer, it'll be better weather, and I'll be more motivated than ever to go out and shoot.
Yeah.
So I'll go out and I'll take 1,000 photos in a day and I'll never look. But it was still fun to go out. Where at the moment I'm inside more because of the weather. I'm not so motivated to go out and shoot, or I've got time being spent elsewhere. So I don't know. It's just finding that balance in there. It's okay. It's fun exchange, isn't it?
I just put them all in Dropbox, and then they're on my phone, but they're not. And then I can just save them to my phone if I want to post something onto Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like going out and framing a photo and clicking a button.
Yeah, sometimes that's enough. The process without seeing the result is sometimes.
So I should just go home and delete them all. That's what I'm thinking.
But then you don't want to delete photos in case you've got a goal.
But this is the thing, you don't know until sometimes a year later you look back through stuff and go, oh, that's a nice picture. Or you might look back on it in, like, to me, landscape photography is not the most interesting thing in the world, but there's a lot of landscape around where we live. So I'm trying to be more get more into it. So I've taken a lot of landscape photos, but without much thought. But what I'm wondering is, in 20 years' time, will I look back at these photos and go, oh God, that's actually quite good.
But you might look back in 2 months, because you might, let's say you took a photo today that you didn't post, you didn't just take to post to forget about.
Yeah.
You might look at that photo in 2 months' time, and now in that 2 months that you've since took that first photo, you've been doing more photos.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you've got your own comparison. And that's where I feel like I've got to, because I take some photos now, whether it be digital or on film, I scan them in, I've edited them, I'm like, cool, I'm happy with them. Right. But then I look back in a month, 6 months, a year, and I'm like, those 9 were crap, but that one that stands out to me, that was worth it. Do you know what I mean? Or it tells the memory of that whole roll of film, or especially if it's a landscape. Sometimes I like take a landscape photo and I'm like, yeah, that's a nice photo. But in a year's time, I'm like, oh, I remember when I stood up there taking that photo. Like the memory of the whole kind of process of taking that photo comes into play, which shows the power of photography, doesn't it? Sometimes. Sorry, that's how that's how boring this conversation. Well, let's move on. So let's just finish off, because the other questions that we've had on our Instagram just tend to be funny ones. Will the OnlyFans account be called Full Front Al?
Full frontal. Yes.
Yes, it will.
Yes.
Yes. Dream like grab. We've done the dream. Off the top of your head, what's your best joke?
A donkey walks into a bar and asks for a pint of beer, and the barman goes, "Here."
Yeah, I like it. I'm not even going to say one because that one was such a pearl. Which Disney character would you be best to photograph, and what would they use? Which Disney character would be the best photographer, and what would they use? I don't fucking know.
I see.
You like Disney? I don't watch a lot of Disney. I don't have children.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's doesn't mean I like it.
I'd go classic Timon and Pumbaa, and they'd use
Timon. Wasn't it Timon?
Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
Did I say Simmer?
So you had Simone.
No, Simone. So I don't know. Timon and Pumbaa. That's the answer. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yelling.
Yes. Of course you can. Like, favourite pizza, cheese, just margarita pizza, that's me. But yeah, pineapple, yeah, put whatever you want on pizza. Up front, are you going to be selling merch, tees, hoodies, jock straps, etc.? Jock straps, definitely, not too sure on the tees and hoodies. Yeah, we are going to, as soon as we launch front, there will be a lot of things that we've got to develop over time. But yeah, we've always said that we want a merch shop, so stay tuned for information on that. What made both of you get into photography? Go back and watch some of our podcasts. Do you prefer film or digital format? Film?
Yes.
Yeah, but
The answer to that is yes.
yeah,
Both.
yeah. We like both, but yeah,
I think we came up with like an equation for this, didn't we? If it's the daytime and the weather's shit, black and white film. If it's day and the weather is good, colour film. If it's night, in the long exposures, film. Street photography at night, digital.
Yeah,
that's
yes.
general.
And
So the answer to that is yeah, but
yeah, yes. And final question: when did we come up with front?
too long. I feel like you're trying to start a fight because that's quite a loaded question.
Yeah, but we'll get there.
Ages ago,
a couple of years ago. But that's why we've managed to build an awesome little community on our Instagram, which we're really, really proud of. Thank you all for supporting us, continuing to support us, and following our journey. That's what these videos are going to be about. Short and sweet, and a little bit about what we've been up to, and just having a little chat. But we're still very much dedicated to getting front launch and getting that going. So if you haven't already registered to our mailing list, follow us over on Instagram. All the details will be down below, which is where you can keep up to date with everything. And we'll see you in the next one. Drum roll, please. Bonus footage.
I'm going to go for a swim.